Hello, YouTubes. Can you see me? Let's see. I think I got this going. Alright, I think we're good. If not, I'm just sitting here talking to myself. Alright, here we go. Welcome to our live show. Today is the 24th. It's our normal live show. If you guys are here for a normal live show, jump ahead about 25 minutes or so. I'm jumping on a little early to try to answer some questions and shoutouts because there are so many, and I just sadly can't get to all of them. But I'm happy to be back on the live show. I know I missed the last few just because I've been kind of busy with other stuff, but I'm happy to be here. Yes.
If you want to show.
Oh yeah, awesome. Okay, really cool. So Bill just walked in, and we have our patches for Assault on Antioch. That's Bill in the back. We just got these in, so if you guys are going to Assault on Antioch, this is a game event happening in Antioch, California at GamePod, the biggest CQB field ever. It's going to be amazing. I'm going to be there, Bob's going to be there, and the opposing generals or commanders are going to be Milsim Junkie and Greg Wong. So we'll be talking about that a little bit more on the show, but I am super excited for that. We still have some tickets available, so if you're interested, go to our website. It's actually right on the front of the website, and check that out. It's going to be vehicle warfare, and there's going to be food, and there's just going to be camping. It's a 2-day event, July 12th and 13th. But anyway, the other big thing I wanted to say before I get into the questions is we're coming to Texas. Yes, that's happening. I'm very excited. We are coming to Texas. I can't release any more details, but we're getting closer, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I was out there a few months ago, and it was my first time in Texas, checking out a lot of the local fields and shops and whatnot, and it's going to be pretty cool. So I'm pretty stoked. But without further ado, if you guys go on my Facebook, which is Airsoft GI space Dan, I will usually post for you guys, or ask you guys for questions and comments, so I can try to answer them for you guys. So I have a list of about 3 pages to go through, so let's get that started. For shoutouts, now when I do these shoutouts, I hope you guys are checking these guys out, because that's kind of the point of people, have their own Instagrams and Facebooks and other stuff going on. So if I, specifically say like Instagram or Facebook, go check these guys out. They're going to be more airsofters out there sharing content. But here we go. Shout out to A-Team Airsoft, Shadow Commandos Airsoft in Sugar Land, Texas. We're coming to Texas. Black Tip Recon. Big shout out to Warfighter, Team Therapist, and Disposable Heroes for helping out at the big summer sale. That was an amazing event that we had this last Saturday. Team Therapist and Disposable Heroes are our sponsored teams, and Warfighter Airsoft is a non-profit organization that helps out veterans. So check them out. They're really great guys. Shout out to Nathaniel and his friend Jared. Shout out to 69th STG Airsoft team based out of Illinois, Indiana. Shout out to Cool Combat, Hill559. That's Mark in the back. Hey, Mark. Actually, I got a question for you if you want to stick around for a minute.
I would love to.
Shout out for Anthony Pearson and Syndicate Airsoft. Check out Syndicate Airsoft. They were actually at the big summer sale, and we did a video with them. Their YouTube channel is Syndicate Airsoft. It's spelled a little bit differently. Where'd it go? I lost it on the page. SYNDIKATE Airsoft. So check them out. Check out virus_milsim on Instagram. Super awesome Galactic Unicorns, who's based in Moreno Valley. Their Instagram is s.a.g.u. No dot after the U, unless I'm mistaken. Check them both out. Shout out to Brett. Shout out to Team 101st Airsoft. Their Instagram is the 101st Airsoft. They're also on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Shout out to Beast. Now, this is a fun team that was created a couple shows ago that stands for Bill's Elasticized Airsoft Swag Team. If you guys have been a part of the live shows in the past few weeks, you know what that means. That's an inside joke for those of you guys that saw it. Shout out to Bob, Daniel, and anyone else present. So you too, Mark. So thank you, much appreciated. Shout out to the Desertion Corps. I feel like you guys are always there, so I know you guys are committed to the live show. Thank you very much for watching. We appreciate it very much. Shout out to Aiden's little brother, Vance, who just started playing Airsoft with one of the KWAC QR packages. Hey, I hope it's working really great for you. I'm glad you're getting into Airsoft. Have fun and be safe out there. Shout out to Bone Crushers, SOP Airsoft. Shout out to the Walnut Retail Store sales reps. Huge shout out to you guys. That actually means a lot to me because I come from the retail store in Walnut, California, and I know a lot of the guys at the store personally. I've worked with them for a very long time. They're all really, really great guys. So big shout out to all of them. If you guys are in the SoCal area, go check out the store. Don't forget, we also have a store in Virginia called GI Tactical. Also a great group of guys. Shout out to Overdose Airsoft. Okay, so that's all these shout outs. You're welcome for the shout outs. I see a couple thank yous.
I would, but I can't see.
You can't see as the water blocking you?
No.
Might need that later on, so I don't.
I'll put it back. Or
Okay.
you'll sit on this side.
Gotcha. Okay, but we're going to jump into some questions.
Oh, you know about this, right?
Yes.
I took our Instagram, Facebook. I was like, oh, it's 10 o'clock at night. Share live.
I saw. Crytek. We're talking about Crytek. They have their own Instagram now, which is Crytek Arms. So check that out. They're going to be posting a lot of photos in the near future. They also have a Facebook, so check them out. Their guns are awesome. I'm very excited for them.
Legit.
Okay, so Noah is asking, can some of the Airsoft GI techs make Polar Star customs in the future? No, we actually make Polar Star customs. We don't make them too often because they're very, very expensive. A lot of them will be, I would say, $600-700 up to $1,000 or plus. So
considering the India's like what, $400 already?
For alone, just for that, yeah. So we do make Polar Star customs, but we don't make them too often because something that pricey, you know, that's not something everybody wants. So no, if there is something specific that you're looking for, we can build you a custom gun of your dreams. You get in contact with our tech department and, you know, let them know what you're looking for, and we'll see what we can build for you. So we do build custom guns, you know, at your guys' request. So just let us know. Next question is from Trey. What are your thoughts on an M4 or an M14 EBR? I would personally go with an M4 because it's a little bit lighter and I like the mobility of it and the ability to change things out. But I think the M14 EBR is one of the sexiest guns in existence.
It works well in Battlefield.
Oh yeah, for sure, definitely.
It's good that way.
For Airsoft, though, what would you say, the M4 or the M14 EBR?
Personally, I think I would go with M4. Why? Because it is a lot of external parts and internal parts are readily available for it, and some M14s are version 2 version 3 compatible, but there's some it's like version 7, and it's like it depends on which M14 you get. So M14s do look nice, but I stick to my M4 out of those two. But I'll have other choices.
Mark, your hair looks nice.
It does. I had a hat all day in the sun, so it's usually up, but it's really flat.
I see
There's
some.
no volume, guys.
You need some, what do you call it, conditioner. But I see some comments about Bill, the elastic guy, and that makes me very happy to no end. So thank you for that, guys. Next question is from Alex. His question is, he wants to build a custom DMR AEG. What's the best gun to use as a donor or base gun? I would recommend, and our techs would likely recommend, Echo 1 VFC Platinum M4 or M16 because it's an Echo 1 VFC base. It's compatible with almost every aftermarket part internally, which is what you want when you're building a DMR.
You're forgetting one gun.
Well, I was going to ask you, what would you recommend?
FMG4.
Oh, the FMG4, that's definitely...
That's if you want to keep the buffer tube. Because with the FMG4s, unfortunately, you cannot put a full stock on it because it's like the real gun where it threads onto the to the lower receiver, excuse me. So if you like how I do it on my DMR, I still have my crane stock on there. Why? So I can use 2 11-1s, but I run parallel connectors, so it doubles the milliamps, and that's what I use.
So I'm going to answer a question on the chat really quick. 1000M Chief is asking which team me and Bob and Milsim Junkie and Greg are going to be on for the Assault on Antioch game in on July 12th and 13th. So it's going to be Bob is the CO on the south side, and I'm going to be his XO, the second in command. And then we're going to be taking on Milsim Junkie, who's the who is the CO on the north side, and his XO is going to be Greg Wong. So essentially, it's going to be me and Bob versus Milsim Junkie and Greg Wong, and you guys are going to get your faces stomped. That's what's happening.
I would have laughed if you said Greg was CO. Sorry, Greg, but
it's gonna be a lot of fun.
I will laugh at Greg Vecchio.
I think it would have done quite alright. I was just talking to Greg. So, Greg, I hope you're watching, not playing Battlefield like you said. If you're watching Battlefield, I understand.
Playing Hardline.
Yes, most likely. Oh, but Mark, here's the question that I had for you from Hayden. He's asking Tinley 45,000 motor or versus any Lonex motor. What do you think?
I personally like Tinley motors. There's a reason why they cost more. The way the armature or the components inside is designed so that it runs cooler than most aftermarket motors. On top of that, the coils are made differently than Lonex motors, so they allow the motor to run faster because there's more electricity to run through it as well.
Frank's coming to
Tinley
photo
motors is something that a lot of our techs use too. 40,000, more common at 35,000.
Don't do it, Frank. Don't do it, Frank.
But yeah, I prefer Tinley motor over Lonex motor. It's a little more expensive, but I prefer it in regards to performance, reliability, as well as longevity. Oh god,
I messed up the camera there. Frank is trolling us at the moment. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Don't stop it, Frank. We're trying to do a show here.
Replace my shirt.
So
yeah. I prefer a Tinley motor over Lonex motor. It's much better for considering the price and stuff. So I love Tinley motors. In fact, I think almost every single gun has a Tinley motor. The only gun that doesn't have a Tinley motor will be one of my scars. It has my old school King Arms motor.
Cool. Sounds good. Somebody asked a question of where is Bob? Bob will be joining us in this live show in about 14 minutes or so. So Bob will be here. He'll be joining us in just a moment. Moving on with the questions. Jacob is asking, are there any upgrades / replacement parts for the Wii Big Bird full size, and would you recommend it? From my knowledge, that is very similar to like the VFC MMPs, but it's just like, yeah, it's like an unlicensed version. We actually don't carry it because it's not licensed.
Right.
So I don't have a lot of personal experience with it, so I don't know. I can't really recommend it. I don't know anything about it, and I don't know what's compatible with it. Clayton is asking, does Airsoft GI have any plans to sell customs versions of the Crytek rifles? At this time, we don't have any plans for that, but you know, you never know what happens in the future. Those guns are pretty awesome out of the box, so I mean, we can always do other stuff with them, but I think people are going to be happy with the way they come.
As soon as SR47 comes out, the day it comes out, I'm buying a lot of parts from here and see what goes inside.
Yes, for sure.
So,
Troy is asking, what mag pouches do you like running on a plate carrier for quick reloads? The taco pouches are really nice. Definitely like the taco pouches. The one pouch I've recently fallen in love with is the Spectre 45-degree angle pouch. So it's just a 1000D Cordura, but where's an M4 magazine?
on my gun.
So M4 magazine, you know, usually you sit them upside down and then you do the full like up and out and then, you know, into your gun. Let me use this as an example. So you know, if you have a mag down like this, you got to pull it all the way up and then back down and get it back up into the gun like so. This 45-degree pouch literally sits at a 45-degree angle here. So all you have to do is pull it out like halfway, like, you know, a couple inches to get it out of the pouch, and then it just goes straight up and in. So that would be my personal recommendation for a speed reload pouch. Problem with that is it does take up a lot more molly space, but I personally like it. Let's see. Next question.
Wonderful.
Taco pouches are good too. I like
tacos.
tacos.
Talking food, but okay.
I like tacos. I had some really good tacos on Sunday at El Torito for brunch. It was delicious. I was very happy with that.
This guy.
Brett is asking, hi Dan. Hi Brett. What brand could you suggest for a high quality SR25 or M24? For the SR25, probably the G&G. I think it's a really good choice. For an M24, can't think of an M24.
Modify.
Oh yeah, that one's pretty good. That's a newer one, right?
The Modify M24 has dual stage trigger where you can adjust the amount of tension on the trigger pull as well as the distance of trigger pull as well. And some of the parts are VSR type compatible. Why? Because I took it apart already. If you guys haven't seen the video, check it out on our GATV page.
Trevor's asking, what is the release date on the Dark Earth KWA MP7? That is
Soon.
coming very, very soon. We already have it on pre-order. So if you want one, I would highly suggest buying one now to make sure you get one before they sell out. So I actually have one that we're going to show you guys during the show, but it is a tan MP7 and it is pretty. Trin is also asking, what are your thoughts on the Cyclone Condor plate carrier? I think it's a good plate carrier if you're going for that more minimalist style setup where it's not really huge, so I wouldn't recommend it for like a bigger guy out there. But it has enough molly space to carry all your bare essentials, but it's very low profile and quick. So I think it's a good plate carrier.
Hi, Spartan Leia.
Hi.
I just saw you on the chat. So.
Nice.
Good job on this lady's hangout. I was watching the whole thing, so it was pretty cool. It was pretty entertaining too.
I saw some of it, and it was definitely entertaining.
Nutella Relentless.
You told me about that, Mark. That was pretty funny.
Nutella Relentless.
It'll make me hungry now. Let's see.
Oh my god, Nutella does taste good. I mean, the food Nutella tastes really good.
I know we're talking about tacos and Nutella. Can we just talk about food the whole time?
I know, food's good.
I know. I think we get tacos. It's Tuesday. I usually do like Taco Tuesday at like a local place by my place.
Musubi's is good.
Musubi's are good though.
Musubi's good too. Oh my god. Oh, we should get Musubi's after.
If you had to eat a Musubi for the rest of your life or tacos for the rest of your life, what would you choose?
Musubi because rice.
See, I'm Mexican, so I might go for the tacos.
You're not Mexican. You're Chixican.
I'm half Mexican.
You're Chixican.
That's part of Mexican. That's part Mexican. Ronnie's asking, trying to switch up from the SR25 look of DMRs. What would you recommend the VFC SSR or something else a bit more unique? The VFC SSR is a really, really great choice. Especially if you want more of a unique DMR setup. When it comes to a DMR, I definitely like going with AEGs because you have that semi-R full auto capability. So you can go with the VFC, or you can go with... Where'd it go? It's not here.
Kevin has it.
No. Well, we have another SSR that just came out, which is the Wii AEG SSR. So you'll see that later in the show when Rob brings it by. So yeah, I would say the SSR is really, really cool. Pearson is asking, how do you leave a team nicely but still want to keep in touch with the team members? I think that's definitely tricky because it's kind of similar to breaking up with somebody. It's you don't want to hurt their feelings, but you still want to be friends with them. I don't know how close these team members are, but I think like a breakup, you gotta be honest.
I don't know what that feels like, so I'm blanked out. Sorry.
Nobody breaks up with Mark. I mean, Mark is awesome.
Everyone hates me, guys. So.
Everyone loves it. Maybe Spartan Leah, maybe you can give us a little insight on what you think.
One of the topics for Slaves Hangout was how do I bring my girlfriend to airsofting?
Oh, that's
and then Airsoft Alti John gives a great explanation of how to do that. I would go over it again, but it's more fun if you just watch the replay of that and then
go check that out in their channel.
Check it out in Spartan Leah's channel. That's the one.
Okay, so
you're welcome, Spartan Leah. There's the. I'll see you. Oh, Spartan Leah, I will see you. Dale and I will see you on Saturday.
Yes, we'll be at SC and we'll be flinging BBs and going pew pew.
Yup. BFC Scar Buddies. I'll be there. It's going to be ready. Even though the trigger doesn't work. I mean, even though safety doesn't work, it'll be ready.
Okay, Mark, we're running out of time. We got to fly through this.
Go!
Liam is asking, best gas blowback rifle M4 series in the 400 price range, good for external upgrades. KWA LM4. That's what I'd go with.
What's the question?
Best gas blowback M4. LM4.
And my gun's not there.
Isaac is asking, I'm trying to get into Airsoft. What guns do you suggest to start off with? It depends on the budget you're going with. If your budget is around 200 to the 150 mark, which is most people's budget when they first start, I'd say go with a G&G Combat Machine series. If you can go to 200, go with maybe a G4 series, which is really good, not too much more, but it's well worth your money. Or, Mark?
KWA Basic Players Package, CB, I think it's $220.
Yes, that's actually a really good package.
7 magazines, chest rig, belt system.
That's good.
KWCQR.
This is a fun question that I'm looking forward to answering. Matthew is asking, do you think any airsoft company will make the models of the USAS-12, which I believe is a shotgun?
Yes.
Not that I know of, but that's the same shotgun, unless I'm mistaken, of...
Expendables?
Oh, no, you know what? I'm thinking of a different one. Which was the one they used in Jurassic Park? That was the Spaz.
Spaz, yeah.
The original Jurassic Park, where he takes the stock off all slowly, and then he's gonna kill the Velociraptor, and then he comes up and he's like, "Clever girl." That's I got that mixed up. That's the semi-auto shotgun, right?
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
One Expendables, Terry Crews, I believe you said.
Yeah. I don't know of anybody working on one of those shotguns right now, but I think that would be pretty awesome.
Post art. I mean, what?
It's a shotgun. You gotta that doesn't work.
What if I could do hair all like funky?
Griffin's asking, what kind of BDU uniforms would you recommend for a law enforcement loadout with OD green? Also, any thoughts on the KWA M9 PTP? If you're looking for like a law enforcement loadout, the KWA M9 is probably the best thing to go with because that thing is extremely realistic down to the safety functioning as a decocker, just like the real M9 Berettas. For a law enforcement loadout, I think like OD green with like black gear, I think would be pretty cool.
OD green or the shellback tactical Ranger green plate carrier. How do you know? Because one of our buddies that used to work here owns one, and he is a sheriff.
Yes, Andrew Ty. So if you're watching, Andrew, hope you're doing well, my friend.
He's probably not watching. He's probably sleeping or playing Battlefield.
That's probably true, but you know, it's more the thought that matters.
Yeah.
Why are you trying to like pop my bubble?
No one cares about Andrew.
That's he's a nice guy.
He's a great guy. Except when he pulls you over.
Daniel. Hey, Dan. Hi, Daniel. He's asking, what internals, if any, have you made on your Masada?
Oh, yeah, I built that gun. That gun, I believe, has one of my custom torque motors. I built it from the ground up. So different.
It was the, what was the motor?
It was supposed to be a combat squad, but
yes.
then I redid the magnets. I put new magnets in. New armature, so it allows more electricity to run through. So until that more electricity, higher electricity, so it runs faster. I can go into details about physics or all that stuff, but I don't think you guys want to. That, and then I believe it has 16-to-1 gears with magic box, low resistance wiring, Dean's. It still has a micro switch, and then I can't remember what pistons in there. But that gun, literally, what happened was a couple years ago, before I started working here, and I only knew Daniel as from just a close friend. The gun literally, micro switch got stuck together from building a big LiPo.
It got melted. It got
melted together. Dan pulled the mag out right after he realized that he probably should remove the mag when he's on the second floor instead of ricocheting everything around there.
Yeah.
But the gun was still shooting, but the gun didn't break. So I was like,
that was awesome.
Wait, what?
You should get that gun working again.
That gun was amazing. I believe the piston, if we're gonna change it, I think it has a magic box piston now. Magic box piston and magic box.
No, the GI palm piston. I remember.
Well, it's magic box still.
Yeah.
And a bunch of magic box compression components. Magic box is a great company, I think.
And here comes a train.
Train.
Okay, so we got a few more questions really quick. Cole's asking, what are some good green lasers and... Oh, sorry, no, I skipped a question. Okay, we'll do this because I'm already in it. Cole's asking, what are some good green lasers and flashlights? NC Star makes some amazing green lasers. Be careful, some of them are really bright that some fields do not allow them. But NC Star, like this one, is really cool. The one that Frank was messing with me. Wait, can I do the angle? There it goes. No, stop it, Mark. And then for flashlights,
the gun was really clear. Check chambers clear. No gas. Nothing was in that gun.
Cool. Flashlights.
Damn, my gun's not here.
We have some Bravo flashlights, which are really good, or the Night Evolution flashlights. If you can afford it, maybe get a Surefire flashlight. My Marine buddy actually hooked me up with one, which was awesome. Cool. Thank you very much, Brian. Oh, check out Centurion Airsoft. That's my buddy Brian's Facebook and Instagram. He posts cool stuff all the time. Dawson's asking, upgrade gun or upgrade gear? I have an Elite Force 4 CRL and a basic gun. So it sounds like you're having a dilemma between the two. I would say upgrade your gear because if you have basic gear, the 4 CRL is really solid out of the box. So unless you're really not happy with the performance of the gun, leave it alone, which is unlikely because that thing kills out of the box. Start getting some cool gear, maybe a fast helmet, you know, a low profile plate carrier, and a bunch of MOLLE gear. That's what I'd recommend. Kendall's asking, what's the best budget CO2 pistol? Depends on your budget. If it's $50 or less, get the H&K USP non-blowback CO2 pistol. I think it's $45, shoots .330 out of the box, but it's actually probably one of the best inexpensive CO2 pistols that I've seen under $50. If your budget's around $100, get an Elite Force 1911. Any model will do, and that's a great CO2 pistol.
If you want something that shoots ridiculously insane, the G&G Extreme 45 is... I don't know how G&G did that. Thing hurts.
Yeah, that thing's not very field legal at a lot of places.
Shoot, though.
Alec is asking, cry or die? If I had a choice between like dying and cry, I'd definitely take a bunch of cry gear. I mean,
well, I'll probably die trying to spend for cry.
Oh, that's
because the money you spend for cry, you probably won't have enough for like. So either way, what's going to happen?
Steven's asking, if you could change one aspect of your playstyle, what would you change? Also, is there a way to turn the pre-cocking off on the burst wizard? Yes, there's a way to turn off the pre-cocking. Resort to your owner's manual. It should tell you how to do it. I don't know how to do it off the top of my head. If there's one aspect of my playing style that I would change, I really hate it when I shoot at somebody and I miss. So if I could never miss, I think that would be great. I know Mark never misses. I haven't developed that skill. That's a good question. I'm going to have to think about that. Aimbot. Freddy W. Check out that video if you haven't.
That's a good video.
That is classic.
Shout out to Freddy W.
Blaine is asking if you can play in any state that you've never played in before, what would it be? Texas, because when I was out in Texas visiting a bunch of places, there was a couple fields specifically, I think it's called Texas Paintball, that is amazing. It looks so cool. So I want to play there. Hopefully I will in the near future. And the last question is Bruce. He's looking for a VFC Scar L to be my first gun. Any comments or concerns for a first-time purchaser, or suggestions for a different route? If it's your first gun, by all means, go for it. The VFC Scar is a great gun. Definitely set yourself up with a good charger and maybe a couple batteries, a couple extra magazines. But out of the box, the VFC Scar L is great. Mark can probably vouch for that. He has one. And
I had one, and I ran it stock for so long that I sometimes forget why it's still running after what I put it through. But it's a great, great gun. With that being said, I shall take my leave. But before I go, so I know some of you are wondering what I was talking about earlier about Sparleo seeing Saturday and whatnot. Daniel and I will be at the sponsored by Mechanics game on SC Village this Saturday. It's so Sparleo, Greg Wong, as well as Chris and some other Level Cap. Thank you. We'll be there. Basically, if you get cold kill on us, we're going to try to remember your name as best as possible. We'll notify the guys in Mechanics. You get free gloves. Simple as that. Registration ends Thursday. So, yeah, I'll see you guys there. And Dan will see you there.
If anybody can cold kill, me or Mark, we'll give you guys some extra swag out there. Extra free stuff.
I have a new gun that's going to be there. A new VFC Scar. So,
Mark, we just have to do like the Army of Two status. Like back to back the entire time.
I want to make my own Army 2 helmet out of like fiberglass or something. Or something strong.
I keep seeing Bill Elasticize guy comment. That's making me so happy. But anyway, Bob is here, and he will be joining us for the rest of the show.
The shirt is here.
The shirt is here.
I'll see you guys Saturday.
Oh, can you get us the SSR if Kevin is done with it? Yeah, absolutely.
You can just ignore these right.
I will ignore it. Hey, everybody. How's it? Stop it, Mark. Stop it.
That's not my water, please.
Nope.
Dang it.
Dan's gonna tell. Let's dehydrate. Okay.
No, hydration's important.
Alrighty. Hope everyone's doing well on June 24, 2014. I see that Daniel's answered a lot of questions. Did you tell him about the GI rumor?
Not a rumor.
You forgot it?
Are you talking about Texas?
Yeah.
Well, it's not a rumor. That's fact.
Well, it's
happening.
Quiet.
Yes. Yeah, we were talking about that.
Yeah.
I was talking about that for a little while, and we were talking about one of the fields that I want to visit out there, Texas Paintball, that I checked out while I was there, and it looks amazing. It's going to be super cool.
Yeah, I definitely just want to play Airsoft out in Texas. I've been to Texas a number of times, usually for their brisket. So, yeah, really excited to come back out there for some Airsoft and some brisket, so it'll be awesome.
How many of you guys are from Texas in this chat? Show Texas some love if you guys are here. I'm just kind of curious to see how many guys are out there.
It's going to be a little bit because there's a delay. So.
Absolutely. We'll come back to that.
Yes, we will.
But we got some cool promotions for you guys that we would definitely like to share with you guys, along with some cool new products. Bob, you want to start off?
You betcha. Actually, first and foremost, our Save 14 coupon is still active. If you were able to take care of or take advantage of our Hardline coupon over the weekend, I'll bet you're feeling pretty sweet and awesome right now. Also, most importantly, we have a game coming up called Assault on Antioch, which is going to be a Game Pod Combat Zone on July 12th and 13th. So I believe just a little under a month away, probably about 3 weeks away. So that's going to be really fun. And here, the patches just came in today. You can see a little bit. Get that a little bit closer because you're on the HD side of this broadcast, I think. Anywho, yeah, Assault on Antioch should be really fun. It's going to be a 2-day operation, the first of its kind at GamePod Combat Zone. And what's really cool about this, and one of my favorite things about it, is the fact that all of the actions by the players are going to affect the gameplay on the second day. So if you're on either the south side, which would be Daniel and myself, or the north side, which would be Milsim Junkie and Spartan 1117 GW, you're really going to be fighting hard on the first day to have a better, or at least a step up on the second day. GamePod Combat Zone is the largest airsoft field, or indoor airsoft field in North America. They've got a variety of vehicles. Each time I go back there, they've like added something new to the field. So I think the last time we went back, they added a bunch of different barricades on the field, a few extra cars. They also added destroyable buildings. Now you could actually there were these buttons that you could plug in using these audio cables to set off a charge that would denote the building is destroyed. It would shoot up a lot of powder, and what was interesting about that is they had actually play tested it so many times they'd figured out the right powder to use that would easily wipe off uniforms. You know, if you use like talcum powder or baby powder, you know, it gets stuck on there, it's hard to get off. But if you use, I guess, pancake mix, you just brush it off, it's gone. So that was awesome. So this time they're actually going to have supposedly an industrial strength fog machine, which means that lights, lasers, anything cool that goes flash is going to be extra awesome. So I'd highly suggest getting a red laser, getting a flashlight, especially a strobing flashlight. That'd be dope. Try not to bring green lasers just because those can actually hurt other players' eyes. But check it out. Sign up on airsoftgi.com for Assault and Antioch. If you buy both tickets together at the same time, you're going to save $10. And we also have camping ticket we have worked with GamePod on, so you can save some money in lieu of buying a hotel. You can actually camp out on the field, make some new friends, hang out for the night before, and it's going to include dinner that night and then breakfast the next morning. So that's going to save you a fair amount of money on hotel and food. So that's pretty awesome, and I'm glad GamePod Combat Zone can work that well with us.
Yeah, I'm really excited for this event. It's going to be a lot of fun. I went there for the first time a couple months earlier this year, and besides all the amazing things that Bob was talking about, the one thing that was like really impressive to me was how that field is run, how the refs operate. It was so smooth. It was so much fun that the refs were on top of their games. I believe it's supposed to be one ref for every 10 players just
Correct.
to make sure that it's fair play on all sides. So not only was it one of the fairest games I've ever been at, but it was very objective based where, you know, everybody knew what was going on, and then the refs knew what was going on too. So, you know, they kind of help, you know, people along the way of like, okay, hey, what's going on? Where's the objectives and whatnot? So I think the game control was one of the most impressive aspects for me, just seeing how well and how smooth everything worked. And, you know, I would see them out there with their radios and just communicating to one another just to make sure everything went well. So I'm really excited to get back out there again. If you guys are in the area or if you guys can make the trip out there, it's going to be a lot of fun. Can't wait. Really can't wait.
I'm going to have to agree with you that the staff at GamePod Combat Zone are consummate professionals. And that's one of the biggest things that makes, you know, a good field a great or an amazing field. It's like if you have poor staff, it'll turn a great field into a crappy field. But if you have like a really good field or even a great field and you have great staff, it's just going to make it one of the best places to airsoft ever. So
yes,
that's why I like going and play up there.
We're also going to do a meet and greet the night before. So if you want to come hang out with us the night before around Antioch, we haven't decided a complete location yet, but we'll be doing that soon. We have a group page for Assault on Antioch that you guys should join if you're going. So that just means free food, hang out with me and Bob and potentially some others too, but that should be a lot of fun.
Really quick, got a question here that is worth our time and effort. Should it just put there? All right, Robbie Gruskin. Bob, I'm a new airsofter. What? Wow, there it went again. I'm a new airsofter. What is the best assault rifle that uses batteries? Well, I know, Daniel, you're going to want to go into this. Generally, the most common rifles in the airsoft market are M4 or M4 style AEGs, almost at markers. Ooh, embarrassing. But basically anything that takes a STANAG mag, or essentially an M4 style magazine. For me, you know, Echo 1 Platinum M4s are really great. VFC guns are exceptionally well made. Also, our FMG4s are great, and because our techs work on the FMG4s, obviously they're going to be high quality, but also the fact that you're going to have so many different options. So that's a really great place to start if you have a good amount of money, or at least you know, a sizable amount to start with. But yeah, I would suggest those two guns. What about you, Daniel?
Yeah, the M4 base, I think any M4 base is a good one to start off with. I'm a big fan of my Masada. That's definitely, you know, kind of more out there, but that's something that's a little bit different, and that's a lot of fun to use. That's always tricky because it's, you know, personal preference. So, you know, I'd say, you know, go to, if you're, you know, here in Southern California, come by the walk-in store and shoot a bunch of guns.
Yes.
If not, you know, if you have friends or if you have any other local stores nearby, you know, go check them out and hold some guns and find one that's really comfortable for you. You know, airsoft guns are almost like clothes. You got to find the one that fits. I'm afraid of the comment that you just saw. I could care less.
How do you even make that image?
I don't know. That's weird.
Anyway,
I was looking at the text, but yeah.
Jake Bauer. I can't say it. I'm sorry, Jake. Bob, best SMG. I'm going to want your thoughts on this too. I am very partial to the KWA KMP9. It's got a really awesome rate of fire. It's also much more affordable than most other gas SMGs on the market, and the weight is right in the pistol grip, so I'm able to use my my KMP9 one-handed and have my axe in the other hand. But overall, it's a lot lighter weight than the other guns. It also carries more ammo than the MP7. It carries about 8 to 10 more rounds than the MP7. It's cheaper, or more affordable, as I should say. Has a higher rate of fire as far as I'm concerned, and sounds a little bit louder. So I like it a lot, and it's also from Counter-Strike. Case made.
My favorite SMG would probably have to be the P90. That was my first AEG.
P90's good.
Yeah, and I have a TM P90 that I bought like, I don't know, 8, 9 years ago that I still have, that still works today, and that was really awesome. But I would go with a special note of the new Scorpion Evo that's coming out. I believe that's still
true.
That is,
yeah, that technically does count.
Yes, so that's coming very soon. We actually had a chance to play with a sample yesterday, which was a lot of fun. So thank you, ASG, for stopping by, and shout out to you, Bob, from ASG.
Double Bob Day.
Double Bob Day. You guys will be seeing some more footage on that in the near future. But that gun's going to be pretty cool. But yeah, I think I'd probably go with that.
Also, I believe more info on the CZ Scorpion Evo by ASG should be coming out on GITV Uncut, hopefully in the next day or two. So make sure to subscribe to GITV Uncut if you haven't already. So yeah, make sure to check that out, and let's see what else we have to talk about.
We do have the Evo on pre-order, so if you guys know you want it, go ahead and pick it up now.
Yeah.
Or order it now, I should say.
Yeah.
Next, we have a really cool kill rag and hat promo. Pretty simple. If you guys spend over $75, you get a free kill rag, which is a lot of fields require that, or operations require that. So when you're dead, you put that over your face and you stop getting shot. Hopefully, you spend over $100, you get a free kill rag and a free hat from Condor. So any purchase you guys make right now, take advantage of that, because that's just free stuff, and who doesn't like free stuff?
Well, it's always good to have a dead rag on the field, just so you don't get overshot when you get dead, because some people don't automatically put their gun or hand up. So,
yeah.
But if you get a dead rag out there, just get it right up in the air. It usually helps a lot to prevent being overshot. So.
Definitely. The next thing is we have our Burst Wizard promotion, which is continuing. If you guys are not familiar with the Burst Wizard, it's a little MOSFET or computer chip, almost this size, maybe a little bit smaller actually. And you can plug it into your gun in between the battery, and it immediately gives your gun burst. So that's a really cool feature that usually sells individually for about $40. But if you want to buy it with any AEG that it actually will fit into, you can buy that same Burst Wizard, which is usually $40. You can get it for only $20. So essentially, you can get any AEG that it'll fit with and have it shoot burst out of the box, and it's as simple as plugging and playing. So that's a great feature, and it's a great little product. It does a lot of other things in terms of protecting your gearbox of the electronics and the internals, and watches the battery voltage on lipos, and you can change the burst settings. You can make it semi-auto only. There's a lot of really cool stuff you can do with that, so keep an eye on that for sure. Next thing is, if you guys are on the East Coast, make sure you guys check out our other website, which is gitactical.com. That essentially is a clone of our main website, which is airsoftgi.com, but it ships from the East Coast, from our retail location in Chesterfield, Virginia, which means if you're on the East Coast and you order from them, you can get your items in 2 to 3 days, maybe quicker. So take advantage of that. This is something that we're really happy that we set up within the last year, that we're trying to do our best to serve the airsoft community, not just here in Southern California, but as a whole, nationwide. And we're working on trying to get international shipping, and hopefully it can go up in the near future as well too. But on the bigger scale of things, we want to try to be there for you guys. We understand that airsoft is it's a really cool community, but it's definitely tricky if you don't have any support on the local level. So I think that kind of brings us back to Texas. We're coming to Texas later this year, and although I can't really release more information or details, it's stuff that's going to be pretty exciting, and hopefully get some games out there and hit up the local field, and it's just going to be fun. And this is only the beginning. This is sky's the limit. So we'll see where this goes from here. Was there some comments or questions that were entertaining?
Yes. So Bob, your shirt says the shirt. All right then. Let's see. God, I really wish I could show people that, because that is really funny. No, I don't see any really good comments that are actually not too many questions. Mostly a lot of statements. Actually, someone did ask mid caps or high caps, Daniel.
I would go with high caps when I'm lazy. When I'm not lazy, I go with mid caps because I like the the tactical feel of having to reload every now and then and having to be more conscious of my rounds in my mag. So I prefer mid caps, but I get lazy and then I'll go with high caps. So I'm still waiting on that Elite Force speed loader. So Elite Force, get on that. I know you guys are. I'm just teasing. Somebody had a good question that I think is, what's the best way to stop fogging? Bob, what do you do?
That is from Go Hard, Ride Hard Airsoft.
Thank you.
Come or on our channel quite a bit.
Cool.
My personal preference is to use a thermal lens. Usually, what a thermal lens is essentially a lens with two panes. There'll be obviously two sets of lenses. There'll be air in between, and that cuts down on almost all of the fogging I have. But sometimes, even in dire situations, even that will get a little bit of condensation. Other ways I have done to I guess like minimize the fogging is I will get I believe they're Revision anti-fogging wipes. They have a special coating that smells not very good if you put it right up to your nose, but when it's on your eyes, it's not that bad. But you basically wipe the lens with that on the inside, not the outside, and it will take care of a lot of the fogging. And generally, if it's really bad, you'll have to use it like maybe once an hour, but that's not too bad. So I prefer thermal lenses myself. The new Vulcan goggles actually do pretty well as far as fogging is concerned. Oh, good. Okay, thought that was an audition. Anywho, so yeah, that's what I would suggest. Get a thermal lens. The Vulcan, I can't remember if those were Zulu goggles that we've been wearing recently.
I think it was the Zulu, and those worked really well because we wore them on the entire day, and I had no fogging issues whatsoever.
Yeah, and I was wearing a lot of kit as well, and we were outside in the heat, and yeah, not really any fogging to report, but also they're very ventilated, and they're also really affordable. I think they're around $13,
yeah.
So that's pretty dope
for sure. I think the Revision wipes is something I've been using for a long time, but something that really helps me out is trying to keep my goggles clear of any obstructions, where if you guys have seen my loadout, I have Hakatsu face mask that is a face mask, and then you have the goggles that go over, and then I wear a hat that goes backwards, and so directly below and above my goggles I have nothing blocking the ventilation of it. So there's been times where I'll put the hat forward and immediately I'll have a little bit more fogging problems, or I'll put a helmet, and that's because the hat or the helmet is actually blocking the air from going out. So trying to keep it clear from other obstructions is something that has helped me in the past. So that's something else I would recommend to try to keep things from preventing.
Look at this. Forever Shred. LOL. For sure Americans won't say the best way to stop fogging is to get in shape. Shaking my head.
Well, you can be in shape. It's still going to fog.
That's I know. I mean, Daniel's in great shape, and it still fogs on him.
Yeah,
so
it's
you
just
can shake your head
science.
all day.
If you can beat science, you can stop fogging.
Yeah.
That's good.
What a false moral high horse he's on. Okay, this is actually a really good question. Bob, Elite Force 1911 Tactical CO2 or KJW Full Metal M1911? What's the better choice? I know, Daniel, you really want to weigh on this first, so go ahead.
Oh, that one's definitely a tough one. They're both really good guns, but I think they're going to have their own advantages and disadvantages. The Elite Force will be CO2 only with a higher FPS, so that is an advantage in itself. But let's say you want to use green gas or have other green gas guns, which a lot of people do. The KJW 1911, it will come with a green gas magazine, but they sell a CO2 magazine separately, so that has an advantage with the KJW because you have an option now. You're not just stuck with one or the other. The KJW does have a lower FPS of about 310, 320 so that's good if you are limited at a CQB field. Overall, I've used both a lot, and I would actually recommend either or. I think you'll be happy overall. If you're playing at an outdoor field, probably go with the Elite Force 1911. If you're playing more CQB, probably go with the KJW, so you have that option and the lower FPS.
I personally would always err on the side of the Elite Force 1911. I really like the fact that it's CO2. It has a lot of kickback, and most CO2 guns generally have more kick than green gas guns, but the Elite Force CO2 1911 TAC seems to really take the cake on that one. I really like how hard it kicks. Also, I really do like the fact it shoots around 400 feet per second. It makes it great for outdoor field gameplay. The only reason I would go with the KJW is if most of the fields I played at were 350 feet per second or lower. Shoot, don't want to lose this one. All right, from Axeman Fan. Excellent name. Bob, I love the Assault and Antioch trailer. My favorite part is the tactical slam into the dumpsters at 315 to 320. You're so cool. I hope I can fight alongside you in an Airsoft war someday. I hope so. The same Axeman Fan. I'm pretty happy with that. The slam we both did into the dumpster. I think we did it. We actually did 2 slams in dumpsters.
Yes.
Both when we were going in and then right when we talked. Yeah. So, well, thank you. I appreciate you watching the video, and hopefully we will be able to engage in Airsoft combat on the same field.
Awesome.
All right.
Okay, so we got some cool new products that we can jump into that I would love to share with you guys. The first one is not like a physical thing I can show you, but it's a service that our techs are now offering. Is we are now offering RHOP installation. So I believe it's going to be $65, and it's going to cover all the labor and the parts that you need. It's not going to include a new barrel because you're going to have a barrel in your gun already, hopefully, and a lot of the times RHOPs work with a great stock barrel. So if you guys wanted RHOP, first of all, if you don't know what an RHOP is, it's a different way to apply hop up or backspin to your BB. So long story short, this is an amazing way to increase the range, accuracy, and consistency almost beyond a lot of the Type R barrels out there without going into some other crazy modifications or upgrades. So the RHOP is a really, really good option that our technicians can do for you now. I know for a fact that Spencer and a lot of the other techs do an amazing job, and it's just tricky because the RHOP is super, super detailed. It's not just like a part you have to drop in. It's like test and shoot, test and shoot, test and shoot, like a bunch of times until you get it right. So that is now an option we can do to almost any AEG. So if you guys wanted RHOP, feel free to send it into us or come to our walk-in store on the East Coast or the West Coast and get that done. I know Bill just had something RHOP'd by our techs, and it's just like it shot like a laser.
Yeah, that was his M16. He uses a lot. That and then this.
Yeah, I'm okay with that, yeah.
All right, well, let's see. We got a question here. Actually, first of all, Natchy Gamer XD, your shout-out has been approved. All right, so Wade Roberts has a question. What do you think of the Aim Top Matrix M4 AEG? Daniel, your thoughts?
I've seen people use it, and, I mean, it's not the best, but not the worst. Definitely not the best. It's an M4 out there, and it might get the job done. But I mean, I think there's a lot of other stuff out there that I recommend, especially for that price range as well. I know they have a couple different variations of them, but for the Matrix M4, I don't know. I'd probably go with like a G&G or maybe like a Lancer Tactical even over that.
Yeah, I mean, from what I know, the Matrix brand is just basically like a catch-all thing where they'll take like a lot of lower-end stuff and just shove it under Matrix.
Yeah.
A lot of people think it's like all the same thing, but no, that's just their way of putting a lot of different products on the lower end as one name. So you really kind of don't know what you're going to get with the Matrix brand. So let's see. Any other questions? Tim,
sorry, go ahead.
Jake DeBoer. I'm sorry, I'm not saying it right. Actually, Boer Wars? DeBoer? I think it's DeBoer. Tim vs. Bob 6. Information is classified. I would kind of like to be able to tell you, but I kind of like withholding the information, so I'm just going to keep it on the DL for now.
It's fun to have secrets.
Yeah, I appreciate you asking. Secrets don't make friends, but they certainly make enemies. All right, anyway, I'm really happy. First of all, I would like to say I'm really happy we got the RHOP installation in with our tech department. A lot of people are asking for that. It is, a really time-consuming process, but it is something that's really highly in demand. So, anyway.
Nice. Moving on to new products, we have a bunch of new Wii AEG SCARs in. The SCAR Lite has been on our website for quite some time, but we got a couple different variants that Bob actually just did a full-on video on that we will be releasing hopefully in the near future. So Bob, maybe you can start us off since you spent all day with these pretty guns.
I don't know what this is. I'm an adult. Okay, so this is the Wii Full Metal licensed SCAR L. Now, what's great about this is that you're going to get basically all these standard features. That's actually the Wii Full Metal licensed SCAR H. So you're going to have options for either if you want the light version or the 7.62 heavy version. Now, we also carry the mags on our website for both. Now, what's great about this is that it's another option on the market. In fact, it's a more affordable option in the medium range of SCARs with full metal body and licensed trademarks. I personally really like the fact that it has licensed trademarks, especially if you're going to use it in a film. It's going to give that added sense of realism, especially for close-up shots. Or when I'm at home, I just kind of like looking at it. You put it on the wall. You're like, oh, I'm so cool. We got this. It's awesome. We got trademarks. Anyway. So you're going to get all the standard features on a SCAR that you would expect, like the side folding stock, the adjustable cheek rest, 6-position stock, the functional charging handle, and bolt release. It is going to come with a high-capacity magazine, and this one is priced around $325, so it's going to be more affordable than some other versions on the market. Now, this is obviously the SCAR H, so that is going to run around $349.99. It's a little bit more expensive because of the design. And we also are now carrying the Wii Full Metal licensed SCAR H SSR, essentially the DMR version of the SCAR series of the SCAR series or course, our family of guns. So you're going to have a lot of options in the mid-range of affordable airsoft guns. So if you are looking for a full metal scar, this is a really great option. I definitely know that this is going to cost a little bit more than these two models at around $425, but that's just because of the extra materials used in the build and the extra build process. So if you are looking for a platform to upgrade something on, this is a really good thing to do, especially if you are looking for a DMR platform.
Is it weird that I'm sniping myself through the scope?
No, I'm quietly judging. Actually, that seems like our Assault and Antioch video. If you guys didn't know, our Assault and Antioch video, we planned it pretty quickly, and I think I was pretty happy with the execution, but all of the enemies in that video are basically all the people you saw on screen. So Daniel, Mark, myself, Bill, we were basically all the bandits that run around in the video, so we just had to keep switching out of uniforms into different setups. So that was kind of fun. Let's see. You are confused ASF.
I want to bring up another point that somebody was asking before is like, what's another great platform for like a sniper or DMR role? And this SSR, I think I mentioned before, is another great choice because it's unique. It looks super badass and aggressive and very, very functional as well too. I don't know if you said that, but
what?
I was going to talk about the magazines being different. This is the H magazine. So make sure you don't mix that up with the MK16 and the MK17. We do have the Wii MK17 mags on the website now as well too. So feel free to pick those up.
All right.
So besides that, we also have some key mod slots in from Parallax.
Yes.
Which Bob, I'll give you full credit for this one. We have a bunch of key mod rail systems on our website, and we were in need of some of the rail slots. And so we had Madbull ones for a little while, but Bob had made a really good point of pointing out the Parallax one. So let me grab that really quick.
Yes, we sell a lot of at least airsoft guns with key mod rails on them, as well as key mod rails themselves. And now you have the option of adding extra rail segment on there. Generally, in my opinion, you don't really need to add too much on the key mod rail system. It's very lightweight, it's very smooth, very comfortable. So with the addition of this small rail segment, you can add a flashlight or a pressure switch or even a Manta rail cover, which is, well, this guy on here. It's you can put a pressure switch in there, which is the reason why I use it. But essentially, you can buy this little rail segment, and you can add it on to wherever you want on the key mod rail. It has those little key mod inserts. It's a really nice functional piece of kit you can add onto that rail. Generally, from what I've seen, people don't add on a whole lot of stuff to the key mod rail setup. So what I would do is probably just put a flashlight and a pressure switch, and maybe a grip, maybe. Because the key mod rail is so comfortable to grip on anyway. So yeah, that's what I would suggest.
Yeah, I'm actually going to pick up maybe one or two of these for my M4 because I'm in need of a couple more accessories to add to my M4. So I'm really happy we picked this up, so I can keep up because that's going to be very helpful for me and I'm sure a lot of you guys out there. So this should be up on our website already, but check that out. Now next, I think we have the Tan MP7.
Here, wait. Gotcha. Yes, we had the KWA Tan MP7 at our walk-in store sale this last weekend, and it was pretty fun to have because, well, I don't know, it is kind of nice to have guns in different colors. My KMP9 is Ranger Green, which I really like, but if you guys are looking for something a little bit different, this is definitely something nice to have. I personally think it looks a little bit cooler than the black one, but that's, I don't know, I always kind of like the two-tone setups on guns. That's just all personal preference, honestly. So if you guys are looking for one, I believe this is now on our website. Correct, Daniel?
Yes, that should be on the website now for a pre-order. But we only have a smaller quantity of them, so if that's something you're interested in, pick that up sooner than later.
Yeah, make sure to get on the pre-order if you know you want this, because once it's gone, it may be a little bit before we get it back, just from how sometimes KWA can be. So, all right. So, what do we got here, Daniel?
So, we got two new guns in from Spartan Imports and Classic Army. So, the first one is going to be, if I can get the product sheet to make sure I get the name right, it should be the CA90TR-TX, if I remember correctly. Essentially, it's one of the coolest P90s that I wish they had on the market when I first got my P90, because I would have gotten this. Yeah, I said that name right, but here we go. So this is going to be a classic Army P90. It's not going to come with all the crazy accessories you see here, but what it is going to come with is the built-in red dot, the rail system, which this used to sell separately for like 150, if not more, just for the front end rail system. So it's going to come with the P90, red dot, rail system, and the grip.
Oh,
and
wow.
all of that is going to go for $325, which is crazy good considering,
that's ridiculous.
like, in the past you used to spend at least like $500 to make that happen.
Wow.
So the other accessories you see of the laser here, the mock suppressor, and the rail covers, that's not going to come included. But this is a super sick P90 that I just kind of want to take to the field and just wreck fools. Like, maybe I'll steal this for Saturday or something, because this is pretty awesome. And I don't know the length of the barrel, like if you were to actually have it this long, it's that bullpup style design, but like this would be almost the same length as an M16 maybe? Yeah, maybe, but the gun's so much smaller. So that's one of the reasons why I love P90s and bullpup style guns, is because you have the compact size still, but you have the range and effectiveness of a gun much bigger than what it actually is. So yeah, Bob, what do you think?
I mean, I've always somewhat liked P90s just for their role in video games. I will say, I do like the more shortened version of the P90 just because, again, I can one-hand it, but it's so easy to go around corners with this. But this version, what's really cool is it's capitalizing on the fact of its bullpup design, because you're going to have such a long barrel in a pretty much a mid-length frame. So, you know, if you really wanted to convert this to a quote-unquote DMR or something that has a lot of range, you could possibly do that because of the length of the barrel. I mean, I would say like get a Miracle Barrel, you know, maybe do something with a hop-up. I mean, this could be awesome. And I really like the fact that you're going to be able to get all this stuff on here with the exception of the laser, right?
Yes.
Yeah, with the exception of the laser,
and
right?
The mock suppressor.
And the mock suppressor. You're going to be able to get that right out of the box for like $325. That is pretty awesome. So pretty impressed with Classic Army as well as Spartan Imports for coming out with that. I should make a note that Spartan Imports is the sole sponsor of Assault and Antioch. So Daniel and I are actually going to be using some Spartan Imports guns for Assault and Antioch. And you should make sure to check them out while they're there. The staff at Spartan Imports are really great folks. Make sure to say hi to Spartan Leah if she does show up, along with her Unicorn Army. And let's see, what else is there to say about this gun? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, P90s have been around for almost as long as Airsoft has, so they've definitely made a dent on the community, and it's really cool that Classic Army and Spartan Imports are coming out with something new and different. Yeah, and it's actually, oh, sorry. The previous rails that were similar to this that I saw on the market made the gun really front heavy, but for some reason this setup is actually not very front heavy. It's a little extra added weight, but not nearly. It's about half as much weight as I would have expected. So that's nice.
Yeah.
That's really nice, actually.
I definitely love the P90 style hop-up and barrel, where you can actually take out the upper receiver and the barrel like super quick. In case you have a jam or in case you want to change out the barrel or just clean it straight up like that. You actually just press a button and the upper receiver and the lower receiver split apart very quickly. So I do enjoy that very thoroughly. And I know the version 6 gearbox is actually very easy to use because it's just a few screws and the whole gearbox just comes apart or comes out of the shell. So that's something I do like about the P90s. But we also got another M16, also from Spartan Imports. This is the Classic Army M15A4 SPR RIS. So this is a very modernized M16 variant where you have the full-length rail system. You have the full stock too, which is great for those big long games because you can have a very big battery that can last you a long time. This gun's all metal and licensed. You actually have some cool trademarks on the receiver of the gun itself too. So this is super solid, and I think would be a great outdoor gun. This one's going for about $280 and just went up on our website, which, I mean, it's cool to see all metal guns like this that are almost, you know, dropping in price, because I think in the past an all metal M16 with a rail system would be like what, $300-400 minimum? About
$400 minimum. Yeah.
Exactly. Now this is only like $280, and you're talking about Classic Army quality. You know, that's a pretty dang good deal. So,
and the finish, I mean, the first thing I noticed is the finish. It looks awesome.
Yes.
So, got to give him credit for that.
Looks like let me see. All metal hop-up unit in there as well.
I would actually like to point out that, if I can move the mouse over real quick. All right, Spartan Leah is here. LOL, Bob is going to be in Unicorn, #Unicorn Army. I actually do have a Unicorn hunting permit valid until 2019, so we'll see. But yeah, Leah, if you could make it out, it would be nice to see you again, nice to airsoft with you again. And please, if you do make it out, bring that helmet. I would really like to see it. It looks actually really well made. I'm surprised. And we actually also saw you airsofting in tights, a skirt, and would look like a tank top. So that was pretty ballsy of you, especially for CQB. Yeah, this is lighter weight than I would expect, but about the right weight that I would want. So that's nice.
Very cool.
Now, like it says, property of U.S. government M16A2 rifle, caliber 6mm.
Kind of makes it a little bit more authentic. Kind of
Yeah.
goes with the whole.
Yeah, it does. All right. Would you mind setting that down over there?
Absolutely.
All right.
So we also got a bunch of cool new stuff in from NC Star, one of which I'm kind of jealous of. So we got some new red dots and some iron sights. So first of all, this is one of their reflex iron sights. Now this style is something that's been around for a really long time, but this is why I'm jealous, because I've actually bought like 2 of these over the time. Is it now has a QD mount on it, which is really nice. So no more having to deal with that little
that's
like
nice.
Exactly, because that was always a pain in the butt. It's just like on, off. So that's it.
Hashtag want.
Yeah. So we have these in red and then green as well too. I would definitely recommend getting a lens protector, because I had to buy a second one because my first one got shot and I was so sad.
Other thing to mention is that you have 4 reticle options. So if you can see that right there, you know, obviously you have crosshairs, you have a circle with a dot in the center. Let me back up a little bit, and just a regular dot. So that's nice too, as well as the different colors you can get. Jake DeBoer, really like your comments today. Halo Reach shotgun, Bob will like, and I do like. I wish I could have one, a real one. All right, let's see. Let me refresh this for the comments. All right. The shirt is forever. Yes, it is. Bob, where can I buy your tactical t-shirt? P.S. I'm your biggest fan. I appreciate you being my fan, and I really like your name once again. This t-shirt was actually given to me. I earned this t-shirt when I was teaching fencing. I was voted best teacher of the week and got the shirt because we were the shit. They're originally going to make the R red R, but they figured the kids we were teaching would figure that out pretty quick. So, yeah. Okay. Let's see here. What's better, a KWA MP7 or a KWA MP9?
Oh, that's a classic question.
Yeah, we get that question almost every other live show.
Yeah.
And hold on, let me give you a view of
Frank
Frank.
is trying.
Oh,
to
Frank.
He was doing that earlier.
He was creepily staring through the door. Okay. Anyway,
he gets shy.
Yeah, he gets shy. Let's answer that question real quick. KWA or KWA MP9 or MP7? Your thoughts, Daniel?
I would go with the MP7. It has a little bit longer barrel, and it has really solid performance. I like that it has rails on all sides and a retractable stock that goes in directly into the gun. It is a little bit heavier than the KMP9. I know the KMP9 is a lot louder too. I think either or. I think you're going to be happy no matter what. I would go with the KMP, or say the MP7. Bob, what would you go with?
Well, I only got a couple things to say about why you should get the KMP9. 1, it was in Counter-Strike. 2, it's more affordable than the MP7. 3, obviously it's louder. I'm on 4. 4, it carries more ammo than the MP7. It carries about 8 to 10 more rounds, and also the fact it is lighter weight, and it's also the weight is centered around the pistol grip, which makes it much easier to handle. So I'm a huge fan of it. Yeah, I mean, I love my MP7. I bought the one that I reviewed on air on GITV. I was like, you know, I really want this. In fact, I want this one. And I think right after I bought it, oh, actually, thank you, Frank. This is an MP7 that was on the back wall that our marketing team has kitted out to look.
It's not an MP7.
Oh, excuse me, MP9, sorry. I'm flipping crazy right now. So yes, this is an MP9 that our marketing department has kitted out with a couple different things, like a licensed B&T mock barrel extension, which has some rails on the bottom that you can attach. We did a pressure-sensitive laser, so let me see if I can use this right now. Basically just forward, push my knuckles a little forward. Doop, 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 doop. It's actually reflecting back on Daniel.
Oh, I'm hit.
Yeah.
I'm hit.
So this is a really good gun. Obviously, this B&T licensed barrel extension makes it look a little bit cooler. But yeah, I would highly suggest this. And they recently came out with the MP9s in a couple different colors now, because they went out of style for a while, and then coincidentally, I grabbed my Ranger Green MP9, and they brought back up in popularity. How odd that is.
Yes.
Yes. Anyway.
Someone's asking a question if we're going to be at Black Shield. Yes, we will be at Black Shield. Black Shield is an event at SC Village in July. Oh, I forget the dates. Oh, I'm sorry, SC Village. But it's going to happen in July, and it's going to be a huge game. It's one of the biggest games of the year. All of SC Village is used for Airsoft, so that's going to be a lot of fun.
By we, you mean Airsoft GI, not necessarily specifically us.
I'm going to be there.
Okay.
So I'm going to be there, and I'm going to be shooting lots of people. I'm super excited because I'm going to need so many BBs because there's going to be so many people to shoot at. It's going to be fun. So I'm going to be there. Mark's going to be there, and a couple of the employees from GI is going to be there too. But before we move on to the discussion of what's the best pistol, I want to show you guys really quick our new NC Star iron sights that we just got in. These are flipped to the side, 45-degree Iron sights. So we obviously have the front and the rear iron sight, but this is cool because I've been seeing a lot of people go with the 45-degree iron sight, where you twist it 45 degrees if you have a optic on the top, or you just use it as a backup, and they're flip up and down. So I don't know why you need to flip up and down an iron sight on the side if it's already out of the way, but it's cool to have that option. So good thinking, NC Star. Definitely like that a lot.
Indeed.
But Bob, what do you think the best pistol is?
That's train. Well, actually, can I answer this question real quick?
Sure.
Okay. Hardcore Airsoft has been asking this. It's probably the 4th time he's asked it. We haven't answered yet. Bob and Daniel, all caps. EOTech hollow sight or AMP compact combat sight with QD sight riser? Ooh. Easy decision for me, but
I'd go with the AMP micro dot because it's a little bit lighter. I have a T1 replica. I also had an EOTech one, and I feel like I like the T1s better. I think it's more just personal preference. I felt like it didn't block my view as much as the hollow sight. I don't know if that's actually true though, but I'd go with the T1 replica, or the AMP one.
I would actually have to agree with Daniel on this one. I really do like the AMP micro dot because it takes up less of the space, or it takes up less space because it's a much smaller sight. So I can see around it a lot easier than when I'm looking behind an EOTech hollow sight. Now, I will say I really like how the EOTech hollow sights look. I think they look awesome on guns, and I would probably use one just to look cooler, but if I wanted to be more competitive, I would probably get a micro dot from AMP or just something similar to that. So yeah. Alrighty. Let's see here. Oh wait, to get in the game, do you just show up? Wade Roberts. You have to be more specific about that. Generally, to get into a game, you have to show up and pay the entrance fee. If it is a game like the mechanics game, Gloves for Tags, you do have to pre-register for that, from what I know. So there is a link online to pre-register for that. Black Shield, I believe, is also pre-registration. I don't know if you can pay for a walk-on for Black Shield.
I think you can do walk-ons. I might be wrong on that, but it's going to be more expensive. I know, like, the sooner you pre-reg for Black Shield, the cheaper it's going to be. So SC Village and Giant Sports have been advertising that for months and months now, because it's going to be one of their biggest events. So that's a whole weekend event too. So I'm probably going to camp there with Mark and a couple of other GI guys and just go crazy all weekend. Just shoot people like crazy.
All right. Well, back to our publicly stated topic of best sidearm to get.
Yes.
Yes. Now, I've used a fair few sidearms in my airsofting career. Now, it's weird. I go through favorite pistols, I feel like, in waves. Right now, my favorite pistol is the HK45 by KWA, and I like that for a number of reasons. One, the grip is so comfortable, it feels like an extension of my arm. I don't know, it doesn't feel like there's a break in it. So that's really awesome, and also for the fact that it holds a lot of ammo. It holds about twice as many rounds as a lot of my other pistols, so I can keep firing at points when, like, let's say my 1911 would be out of ammo. So that is really nice. But on that same point, I was, right before I got on the HK45 phase, I was just in the 1911 phase. So I really liked, at the time, the KWA 1911, I believe the Mark II and the Mark IV. So I was using those pretty often. And then KWA came out with new magazines that had 50% more ammo. Yeah, so cool. Being able to hold that many more rounds was such a great sell, and all you had to do is you could get some of the new mags, and you could, I believe KWA would send you out just some of the additional parts you had to change on the slide just to be able to accommodate those. So that's a really cool feature. So I really like the KWA 1911 Mark series and the HK45. And then finally, my other favorite pistol right now has to be the Elite Force 1911 TAC. It's two-tone, it's got a lot of kick, it shoots around 400 feet per second, it uses CO2. That thing is awesome.
Definitely agree. I know the Elite Force 1911s are making a big splash, that people like them a lot too. Everyone knows I'm a big 1911 guy. My favorite 1911 is probably the TMMEU. I've actually owned 2 of those, and I love that pistol so much. But one of my things is that it is a plastic pistol that, I ran off green gas for many, many years too. But I felt like it was, I don't want to say more delicate, but I guess for lack of a better word, I'll use that for now, because it would get gunked up a little bit easier if I took it out to like SC Village and stuff like that. But I love the accuracy of TM pistols out of the box. I know somebody was commenting like a TM51 or 43, like those pistols are so great that I wish I could just push them as hard as, like, I had a KWA, I still have a KWA 1911, and like I could be rough with that thing because it was all metal and just rock solid, and I dropped it numerous times, and I let people borrow it and they dropped it as well. well too. But it would just keep going no matter what too. The TM guns I love, but they're plastic, so I'm like consciously aware that I can't be as rough with it. I think in my mind, like a perfect pistol would be something with the durability of the KWAs, but like the accuracy and consistency of like a TM. That would just,
well, I mean, I haven't had that as much experience in using TM pistols, but I will say, like, my 1911 is pretty darn accurate right out of the box.
Yeah.
And I mean, my HK45 was pretty accurate, especially at Antioch when I had my pistol in your face when I almost captured you.
I know
that was
so
embarrassing for you.
That was embarrassing.
Yeah, it did. Okay. Now, someone is mentioning high kappas are the best, and they have the best upgrade parts, and I want to talk about that because. This goes with the philosophy of what kind of pistols you buy. High kappas are great because, if you want to continually upgrade and just fine-tune your gun, high kappas are very good for that.
Yes.
But how I prefer to do things is I like to have a gun that's great out of the box. Like maybe I'll do one or two things aftermarket, but generally I like to have a sidearm I can rely on that is rugged, that is basically just going to perform time after time. I don't want to have issues where my gun goes down, then I go for my sidearm, and it's not firing, which is another reason why I don't buy Wii pistols.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. Not a fan of Wii pistols. I've had one of my buddies, Brian, the Marine buddy, he was shooting his Wii pistol, and the entire outer barrel just just completely shot out about 3-4 feet, and not at a hard enough velocity to actually hurt anybody. But like, I don't remember what happened. He just froze, looked at me, and I looked at him, and he was just like, "What just happened?" It was the funniest thing ever, but we were just like, that was, I mean, obviously, it's not what you want in a pistol. The other company that I like a lot from working in the retail store is KJW. They make some good stuff that, in my mind, they're like right in that middle ground of good quality and good pricing. So, I mean, for like, you can get like a WeTech pistol, but for a little bit more, you can get almost any KJW pistol. And they have a lot of guns that you can go between either green gas or CO2, so you also have that option. So they have a full 1911 line that I really like, specifically the the KP08. That one's really cool. That's a 1911 variant that I like. And the KP07 is pretty sweet. But, when you're looking for a sidearm, one of the other things I look for too is a great way to holster it, or mount it, or carry it one way or another, because I feel like that is a really big part of having a sidearm or having a pistol. That when you have a pistol, you draw it on the airsoft battlefield. At least I draw it in two situations. Number one, extreme CQB, where I have a bigger gun and I need to be super compact, or my first gun goes down in terms of a mechanical failure, an electrical failure, or I'm just out of ammo. It's a backup, And so in both situations, I want to get that gun out as quickly as possible. So one of the things I look for is a hard holster that I can draw lightning fast, which I know we've talked about G-code and Serpa holsters. I love my Serpa holster because I feel like I can grab that thing as quickly as I need to. So that's something else to consider when you're looking into a pistol. How are you going to carry it? Is it going to be a soft holster? Is it going to be a hard holster? And where are you going to have it? Is it on your leg? Is it on your chest? I generally like to run my pistol on my chest and get it that way, but Bob, how do you prefer to go about it?
Well, like you mentioned before, you prefer Serpa holsters. It's basically the exact same reason I prefer the G-code holsters. And one specific incident in particular stands out in my mind, where a gentleman on the Timpire had actually walked into my command post at Tim vs. Bob 5 and put his arm around me and said, "Hey, Bob, let's talk for a second." And I was like, okay. That was very polite of him, and I look at him, and I realize he's in Timpire gear, and I'm like, oh my god, this dude walked right in my command post. And before he could really do anything, I just drew my 1911, my KW 1911, out of my G-code holster and shot him in both legs. So, if I'd had any problems with the holster at all, I would have been assed out right then and there. So, I'm a big believer in G-code holsters. They are more expensive, but they're more expensive for a reason. I believe currently they have a big contract out with, is it the U.S. Army or the U.S. Marine Corps?
I don't remember.
I think it's the U.S. Army. So, they have, I believe, a $44 million contract to provide holsters to the United States military. So, yeah, I would highly suggest G-code, even though they are a little bit more on the pricey end because of their variable system where you can actually take off the holster from a leg panel and mount it onto your chest, like in less than probably 10 seconds, probably even less than 5. It's a really good function to have. and I'm a really big believer in it.
Yeah, I believe that's called the RTI or
RTI, Rapid Transition Interface.
Exactly, yeah. And so you can go with that or the basic one where you have to go with the screws. But if you get the RTI one, that is nice because it's just like click, 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 and you can put it wherever you want. So yeah, I think that's a great platform to go off of.
Yeah, no, I definitely find I can actually switch the platform based on whatever pistol I want to use that day. So it's really nice.
So here's another question I get a lot that I'm sure you might get too when people are asking about pistols. How many extra magazines do you carry for your sidearm? Do you carry just one in the gun itself, or do you carry a bunch of extra pistol mags like you would a rifle mag? What do you think? What do you do?
For me, minimum, I try and carry 2 magazines. So one in the gun and one in my vest. That's because I generally have 2 pouches on my vest, so I can just put all the magazines on my vest. Then when I get to the field, I'll put one in the gun. Preferably, depending on how you say it, I like to have between 3 or 4 magazines for the pistol because there have been situations where I am literally assed out and I'm just stuck on my pistol and I don't want to go out of the game without getting shot. So I like to have 3 to 4 mags, but minimum I have to have 2.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Now, does the amount of mags that you carry differ depending on the main gun you're using compared to, let's say, an LM4 or maybe if you're going to use an AEG instead? Does that change your mindset of how you're going to carry a pistol and then how many extra mags you're going to carry?
That's a good point. I mean, I guess generally with my LM4, I carry around like 2 to 3 mags. With my AEGs or my shotgun, I'll carry about 3 to 4. Just because, like with a shotgun, sometimes I'm in transition loading the shells so often that when I'm stuck and like I'm loading the shells and someone comes up, I have to go for the pistol more often than not. So I'll have more pistol mags.
Gotcha. No, that definitely makes sense. I haven't ran a pistol in a little while, but I definitely think it's some helpful kit that I've used in the past a lot. That usually when I would go, I would have my pistol and then 2 extra mags with me. And I remember Line Claws 10, I think it was, that I went through, I think almost all my pistol ammo because it was such a CQB environment and I didn't want to get my Masada because at the time it had a mock suppressor, so it was pretty long. So I slung that around. No, I actually put it down on the ground because we were breaching this room or this building, and then we were just going, room to room with the pistol. And I think for CQB environments, that's where it's, it really thrives because, I mean, you're at the mobility of your own physical limits. And then the pistol nights, that's something that I used to do a lot.
Yes.
That I really enjoyed because it's a completely different dynamic of when everybody has AGs, going 20 VBs a second. Pistol nights, I think that's a different story too of was there a specific pistol that you would use when you do a pistol shotgun night? And why would you choose that pistol?
Back when I was doing pistol nights more regularly, I had my ATP, and that's because that was the newest sidearm at the time that I had. And I can also use all of my old G-Series mags, way back in the day when I had a bunch of KSC G-Series guns. So I have probably like 12 magazines for those.
Wow.
So I would go with the ATP, and I mean, if it was pistol night, I would carry all the mags. So,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
See, I think that's really cool because when I used to do pistol night, I haven't done it in a little while, but I would only have a total like 3 magazines on me. And with that, you're conscious all the time about the magazines. But 12 magazines sounds awesome because it's just like, oh, there's a guy just shooting nonstop.
It's just funny, like having someone look, you'd be like, all right, Bob, you're suppressive fire. Be like, this is pistol night. Well, you got 12 mags, man.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, you got the rounds to spare too.
Yeah.
When I did play pistol night a little bit more often, I specifically used my TM high cap of 5.1, and I put some minimal upgrades just into the internals for accuracy. I think it was like a PDI 01 barrel and modified bucking, and that thing was so accurate. But that was a lot of fun because going back to the TMs and the 5.1s, you can modify it so it's actually like short stroked, so the slide would only go as much as it needed to cycle the next round, and so that was super quick and snappy. So I felt like that was a gun that I specifically wouldn't want to use as a backup, but in terms of pistol versus shotgun, it was almost like an upgraded pistol specifically for that scenario. What do you think about race pistols? Because I know that's something that people like to do, like the shooting competitions and stuff.
I think they look pretty interesting. I mean, what's really nice about it is, like, on the surface, if you don't know anything about them, you think, like, oh, this thing is just so gaudy and just as flashy. But really, I mean, like, most of that stuff, in fact, all that stuff on there has a reason for being there, a raison d'etre. So, like, you have the enhanced mag well, so when you're, like, transitioning mags, it's easier to get it in there every time. You have, I don't know what it's called, but it's basically the piece of metal off to the side to help you rack the slide much easier.
Almost like a charging handle.
Charging, thank you. I feel stupid. So essentially, I think it's really cool. The last time we did a pistol shooting competition here at Airsoft GI, my heart was pumping. It was crazy. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I lost. I beat a couple people, but then I lost to Spencer by like the smallest of margins. We had this target where like the first person to hit the target, their target would be on the bottom, and it was literally they were going down and almost hit each other, and Spencer's was just a little bit faster. So it gets your heart pumping. But what I've always been waiting to see is for someone to bring out a race pistol for Airsoft and go CQB, go play like indoor Airsoft with it, because it seems like it'd be a really good way to play with it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, definitely.
Just do it.
Just do it for sure. Yeah, that competition was a lot of fun. Shout out to Andrew, the champ, who actually won one of our competitions. He won, I think, a couple guns, but I remember he was saying that he actually practiced. That guy was quick. He was just
yeah.
So I think that's fun, and also when it comes to pistols, I think that's something that's cool on the airsoft side is that they function very realistically. That we've worked with. Officers that come into the store that want something to practice with their duty weapon, but they don't have the time or the money to spend on real rounds and stuff like that. So pistols are a nice alternative in terms of airsoft because you have that realism, so you can use it for whatever you want too. So I think pistols are great for a bunch of different things. You have your sidearms, your backups. You have it for the pistol shotguns night. You have it for the IPSC competitions and your training aspect too. That the realism is, I think, one of the funnest things too. Because when you're out there, somebody's rushing at you and you're just like pop, 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 and that slides racking back and forth. That's one of the funnest things. So.
Feels like you're in your own movie or video game.
Yeah. Definitely.
I don't want people to forget, though, doing 2 pistols is actually really fun. Now, obviously, it's not very realistic, but honestly, like, who cares? Just go out there and have fun. And honestly, 2 pistols is pretty darn fun. I've actually done 2 pistols, and I usually carry either an extra dump pouch, or I'll use the dump pouch I have to ditch the first pistol that runs out, and then go for mags for the pistol that's still going. I do want to answer a few questions real quick, or statements. First of all, 321 Poner, my HK45 broke. If that's a legit KWA gun, I would suggest hitting up KWA because they have a really, really good warranty process, and they stand behind their guns to the utmost. So as long as you didn't void the warranty by using propane or any other parts of the warranty, you're going to be fine. Just give them a call and see what they can do. I definitely know, whenever I've had issues with the KWA product, I generally just give them a call, and they're able to fix it pretty quickly and get it back to me in a very professional manner. So I got to give them credit for standing wholeheartedly behind their product. Hey, go ahead.
If it is a little bit newer, it might be going through Umarex, so then the warranty might be through them. So they actually warranty their guns as well, and they have also an outstanding warranty service too. So check with your owner's manual and see which one to go through if it was newer or older. But otherwise, you should hopefully be covered for sure.
Peyton Wilkinson, Bob, when is your guys' next live stream? Our live stream is every Tuesday from 4:30 to 5:30 Pacific Standard Time. Now, sometimes Daniel starts the show a little bit early to answer questions he gets on Facebook, and people also send him shout-out requests quite a bit. So he'll start a little bit early so we can get through all of that and answer everyone's questions. Axeman Fan, great name again. Bob, where did you learn your axe fighting skills, and can you recommend any martial arts that teach it? P.S. I'm your biggest fan. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. Actually, there's only a few martial arts I would suggest. I mean, Eskrima is a good one. That's Filipino stick fighting. But the main thing to practice if you are interested in increasing your axe fighting skills is to learn fencing. That's actually how I got into using an axe in Airsoft, is I taught fencing to kids and adults for almost a decade. So I'm very good at fencing with saber and foil. I hate the epee. It's an awful, awful blade. Anyway, yeah, that's how I learned it. And you can see some of the fencing techniques that I use in a lot of the videos. And specifically, I actually just put up one on GI TV Uncut. So if you haven't subscribed to GI TV Uncut, I would highly suggest going over there, checking it out, and taking a look at this video where I dueled this girl, Kelly, who's at Operation Reclamation 3. I do a little maneuver where I put my axe over here, she swings at it, and I bring it around and hit her in the chest. So highly suggest checking that out, and GI TV Uncut.
Very cool. If you could dual wield any 2 pistols of your choice, what would it be?
Glock 18Cs.
Oh, that's cool.
Yep.
Extended mags.
Yep. Nice. Clearly. Actually, let me think more. Because I don't know, what are the... Actually, I mean, if it was a real pistol, this would be so stupidly awesome. You know that double-barreled 1911?
Yes.
2 of those.
Yeah. Dude, that would be nuts.
Yeah.
245 rounds like that? That's insane.
We'll be shooting 4 rounds each time.
I've always had this dream of, I know you've seen Boondock Saints.
Of course.
And so in that firefight scene where the, I forgot his name.
Their dad?
Yeah, their dad, the older gentleman, Spoiler alert, in case you guys are watching. He has the vest, and he has like
8 guns.
8 guns set up, and you know he'd shoot and then
6,
he'd throw it
and then
down,
2 on
and
the
then I always wanted to set up like a tactical version of that. And the way I imagine this is like it'd be a very big Molly vest, and then it'd be like Serpa holsters or G Cold holsters right left. And so I'm thinking what you would do is start at the top and go down, draw these 2, shoot. When you're out, click it back in, go to the next, and just go to town. Like that would be so cool.
Now, Daniel, I don't know if you're aware about this, but I actually did do that loadout on our tax movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah. In fact, I'm embarrassed for you.
I must have missed that one.
Yeah, you did. No, it's okay. I was trying to be more realistic as to what airsofters would actually be able to do, so I actually included 4 different dump pouches. So each time you draw and you fire them dry, you just put in the dump pouch, because you're not going to drop them.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, you're going to break the guns. And also, I found that holstering them back in there was a lot more complicated than is. I mean, you'd think that like on the field you'd be like, just get it in and be done, but usually like something will catch. So if you just drop them in the dump pouch, it's easier.
Got it. That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, but there's only 6 guns I didn't do. I didn't do the full 8. So
imagine 6 G18Cs. Crazy.
That'd be awesome.
Okay, so I think we got some time for a few more questions.
Brett Toki, most realistic assault rifle, the KWA LM4. Next question.
Definitely would go with that. Raging Venom is saying dual wielding 2 Desert Eagles because why not? And that would be awesome.
Agreed.
Yeah, for sure. I know there's I think it's the Cybergun CO2 Desert Eagle that's fully auto. So 2 of those, just that would be fun.
Okay, Axeman fan is on this. Look up Airsoft GI Tactical Gear Head CQB MP7 dual wield pistol loadout with Blue Force gear. Best Axeman quote: instead of buying more mags for one pistol, I just buy another pistol. Which is what happened. Yeah, it was fun. Wow. I appreciate that. Good eye.
For sure.
Indeed.
How about dual wielding KMP9s? Have you ever done that, Bob?
I personally have never done that, but our good buddy Tim has in one of our old MP9 videos. In fact, that got a lot of hits, and I believe we got a silver plate for that from Popular Airsoft. Yeah. That was the best video of the year for 1 year, because he did an old Spice spoof with dual wielding MP9s. So that was pretty awesome.
Basically, Manic is asking AK or M4. Ooh, classic question. M4.
I want to say AK just to be a little bit different, because I feel like I'm the only person in the office that runs AKs from time to time. But if I really had to choose one, it'd be M4, just for the interchangeability of parts and magazines. It's just so much easier to work with and customize. But I do like the AK for both its novelty, its functionality, and how cool it looks. Yeah, it's very iconic.
What do you think about the Crytek SR47? I know Mark's going to pick one up when it comes out.
Mark has been all over that gun since they even announced the name of it. I think it's really cool. I don't want to spoil his fun and get one too, because he wants to be the only guy in the field in our department that has one. I like it because of, I am blanking on it, Cat Shit 1. Anyone seen Cat Shit?
Yeah. Love that. That was really cool.
That's what one of the bunnies is using. He's using SR47. So it's really handy if you want to use AK-style magazines in an M4 platform. It's awesome.
If you guys don't know what Cat Shit 1 is, it's an animated short film or video, you could call it.
Animated series that's about 30 minutes long.
Yeah, and it's just like super awesome, like action sequence. But the funny thing is, like all the characters are like bunnies or rabbits or some like fluffy animals. Yeah,
the American contractors are bunnies, and it's a play off Japanese word usagi, which means I believe rabbit in Japanese, and it's spelled USAGI. But also I believe the terrorists in the film were jackasses. Or mules, right? I thought they're jackasses. I could be wrong. But it's so tactical, and they ramp up or they ramp down to slow motion at random times when they're shooting. It just feels awesome.
Yeah, it was well done. Very, very interesting.
Very well
done.
Check
that out. Indeed. But I think we're out of time. This has been our live show on Tuesday, the 24th. Make sure you guys join us next week, and we'll be back.
Yeah. Once again, I'm Bobby X-Man Hilburn. This is
Daniel. Thanks for watching.